Well, as you can see here, the breaking news is that Arne Slot has had a contract offering that has been rejected by Feyenoord. Fairs. 9 million is what they're offering. I think Amorim rejected an offer of 10 million, if I'm not mistaken. Apparently, Slot is open to coming to Anfield replacing Jurgen Klopp, and no matter who comes through after Jurgen, they're not going to be the same. But it says the approach is sure to be maintained as Liverpool enter negotiations with the 2023 Eredivisie champions and their highly regarded CEO, with the club knocking back an opening offer of €9 million. So they're going to be looking for a little bit more. In other words, FSG wasn't willing to pay. Why not Mourinho or Tuchel? Well, I did a video on Mourinho. You can check that out yourselves if you feel like it. It's there. Man's kissing the plate that he won. What's wrong with it? He won the Eredivisie. First time Feyenoord had won it in like 20-something years. I know, sounds kind of familiar, don't you think? But apparently this is actually happening. A lot of talk was said, is Amorim maybe still an option because he spoke to West Ham and he promptly left, and it's still an ongoing thing. They're open, but then Edwards is adamant on Slot because he fits the build of what we have at Liverpool with the players we have, with how he plays. The team is pretty much there. Add a couple of players, maybe change a few here and there. You might have yourself a championship winning team again. But it's more so him coming through as a manager who's only really been in the game for 4 to 5 years, where he's only really managed AZ Alkmaar, which could have won the Eredivisie in COVID, but obviously the Dutch league was scrapped at that point, and won it in 2022, 2023, as you can see there. And was in the running, but no longer. But no matter what happens, nobody's going to be happy. If it's not Alonso, who again won his first title, again with the team that had not won it ever, still relatively unexperienced, only in the game for under 2 years. If that's being fair, 2.5 years. This guy's been in it for about 4. Amorim as well coming into the picture, having relatively decent time, but again winning the Primeira Liga with Sporting Lisbon and shit like that. It looks like this is happening. It looks like it's happening, and it hasn't happened obviously, but it looks like there could definitely be some legs on this, and it's just got me thinking, okay, what now? What are Liverpool fans going to be saying when this is on there? But it says here, beyond the high possession, high pressing, clinical attacking football, 45-year-old has shown that he can achieve success without frivolous spending. Keywords, frivolous spending, which is a trait that will be attractive to FSG and their strategic approach. But again, it all comes down to whether Slot wants to come in and be a head coach and not a manager and not demand his own players. Because the way Edwards is looking at this is, I'm the man in charge here. We will get the players. You use the players to the best of their ability, to the best of your ability. There is no questioning, no this and that, no I want this and I want that. You're there to coach the players we supply for you, and that's the deal. Whether or not he may be okay with that, we'll see what happens. But it looks like there is some legs on this at the moment. You know, it's going to be one of those appointments where we're going to be looking at this and thinking, is it good or is it bad? It's always a risk. But in early days, again, this is just off a tweet. It's already been rejected. I'm sure maybe they'll go in with another offer. I mean, they want players on the cheap, and then they want their managers on the cheap. And if then the managers don't perform, then they wonder, why did we luck out again? A lot can be said about the transfer strategy. Maybe money could have been spent wisely elsewhere if Edwards was around. But Edwards and Richard Hughes look like they're headlining this one. We shall see what happens.